Welcome to the Mediation Centers training, Mediation via Video Conferencing. This presentation is a how to use Zoom technology as a platform for video conferencing for mediated services. The Zoom platform is conducive for multiple party mediation as it can accommodate up to 100 participants in multiple meeting space. We are providing you with the how-to based on family mediation, but you can make the adjustments for any specific mediation need that you have. This presentation will not, I repeat, will not show you how to set up a Zoom meeting room for mediation, but we will provide a separate session to address those needs later in another video. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel for future videos. We are offering these videos and future videos on this YouTube platform free of charge. Please consider donating to Midlands Mediation Center to help us to continue to deliver these types of services for mediation needs and facilitation and community building. This is a 5-part training session. The first part will review the Zoom interface. The second part would show you how to do breakout rooms. And the third part is an integration of part 2, which will show you how to join and assign meeting space inside of the breakout rooms. Part 4 will demonstrate the sharing of screen, and Part 5 will discuss how to share forms, how to review and sign an agreement or any type of documents. Navigating Zoom's meeting controls. Zoom.us provides excellent tutorials for their users. All of their videos are found on the Zoom's YouTube channel as well. I provide the link to each tutorial referenced on this particular training session, plus others, in the description. The meeting room control video is about a 10-minute overview. The address is found here on this slide. Please take time to review and refresh yourself on the different meeting controls. I'm going to review a few of the menu items on the next slide. Here's an overview of the menu bar that you will see in the Zoom platform. You will notice there's a mute, stop video, invite, manage participant, share screen, chat, record, closed caption, breakout room, and reaction, as well as in meeting. In the mute feature, you have the ability to identify which particular microphone that you're going to be using in the session, as well as the speakers. There is a audio option that is available to you inside of this screen. It is found here in the highlighted area that I just highlighted. That will tell you how to test your audio to make sure that people can hear you and that you can hear other persons that are part of the session. It is an excellent way to make sure that your audio is working for you, as well as to make sure that you can hear others. The second feature is the stop video, which allows you to black out your particular video, and you can just hit the stop video and a red line will come through it, just like the line you see through the unmute that is on the screen here. The next menu item that you see is the invite, which allows you to invite participants to your Zoom meeting. You'll be able to invite them by their email address by copying the link and pasting it to an email, or you can actually copy just the URL to send to others to a text message or any other form that you see necessary. Managed participants allow you to know who's in your meeting room. When you click on the managed participant, it will show you all the persons that are in your meeting room and allow you other opportunities to either put them into the waiting room and do other things as it relates to muting them or even hiding their video. The next is our shared screen, which we'll go over in much more detail, but it allows you to share your screen with other parties that are in your meeting space. The chat feature allows you to communicate with other people that are within the meeting room space. The record button allows you to record the session. You can disable the record button, and we'll just talk about that later. The breakout room is very critical to what we're going to do today, and we're going to spend a lot of time talking about it, as well as the reaction button. If you want to end your meeting, ending your meeting means leaving the Zoom meeting space. So when you click end meeting, you have 3 options. One is to end the meeting for everyone that is tied to your Zoom meeting room. Even if they're in the waiting room, if you hit end meeting for all, everyone is knocked out of the Zoom system. If you select leave meeting, it allows you, the host, to leave the meeting, but it leaves everybody else in the meeting. They no longer will have breakout rooms or anything. They will be in that session together, having any type of conversation they want, because you have now left the meeting room, and therefore there is no host in that particular meeting room. So it is emphasized very strongly that if you are ending the meeting, that you make sure you select in meeting for all. If you are a host, if you do not end meeting for all, you cannot start another meeting within the Zoom platform. Zoom allows your participants to communicate with you in nonverbal ways. Participants have the ability to provide a thumbs up or a hand clap, or to raise their hands if they have questions. All of these features are found on their menu bar underneath the option of others. Sometime if you're sharing a screen, these options are available at the top of the menu bar next to options. And there they can find all of the things of raising their hands, clap hands, or thumbs up. Some of these features can be found inside of what is called participants. The Zoom waiting room. The Zoom waiting room is a very unique feature that allows people to be placed into a queue somewhat, or a hold pattern, until you're ready for them to enter in to the actual room. The Zoom waiting room is a great feature in Zoom, and it addresses a recent 2020 issue that large meetings were having, with people just jumping into their meeting room and showing their videos and doing all kinds of things that weren't appropriate for their meeting. Using the meeting waiting room gives you the opportunity to identify who exactly is coming into your meeting space. It makes sure that you have their contact information when they are entering your meeting space as well. It also shows you who's physically in the meeting room. And it also allows you to send a message to the persons that are waiting in the meeting room. When you are the host and you are in the meeting room, you will receive an alert stating that somebody is waiting to enter into your room. You have two options. One is to admit them into the room. Second is to see the actual waiting room, which will list all parties that are waiting. When there are multiple parties waiting inside of the waiting room, you have the option to admit all or to send a message to all. One of the features that we use inside of the waiting room, if parties are entering the space with iPhone, phone numbers, or anything of that nature, we send a message to them in the waiting room to rename themselves and to use their name so we know who exactly is waiting to enter the space. It is a great feature, and it is one of the better things inside of Zoom. One of the other things is to note that anytime somebody is in the meeting space and you want to place them back into the waiting room, you will have that option by clicking on the person's name inside a participant on the More button, and it will state put in waiting room, which allows you to return them back to the waiting room, which is outside of the meeting space. When participants join your Zoom meeting, if you have the meeting room set in your meeting space, they will receive this message: please wait. The meeting host will let you in soon. This allows you to customize your Zoom meeting through your Zoom meeting session, where you can put the name of your meeting as well as your logo for your organization. There's a link below in the description that gives you a video link to the Zoom's training on the waiting room, and it provides additional information that you may need to set up the actual waiting room. The Zoom breakout rooms. We are going to spend some time in this section. This section comprises both part 2 and part 3 of this training. Part 2 is to show you how to set up your breakout room, and part 3 is showing you how to join and assign the breakout room, and closing and opening the breakout room. There is a video that is part of the Zoom platform that we have provided inside of this training. The link to it is also available in the description area of this session. To add a room. When you first come into your Zoom meeting space, the menu bar will show you breakout rooms. When you click on a breakout room, this will appear. It will show you the number of breakout rooms that you have. Usually the breakout rooms are automatically pre-populated based on the number of people that are in your space. So when you first open it up, it asks you, do you want to create your meeting rooms? And then it asks how many rooms you want to add. We are recommending that you use at least 3 meeting rooms. One is for, we call it the petitioner or the plaintiff. The second room is the respondent or the defendant. And the third room we use for our attorneys to give them a space where they can talk to each other as well. So, and here you have the option to set up that meeting breakout rooms. These are separate rooms from your meeting space. They are private rooms for the parties to participate in. Once you have created your rooms by the add a room feature, you then have the opportunity to rename the rooms. And as I stated earlier, we renamed the rooms. It's a space here that will show up in each of the rooms, which will say rename. And in those spaces, you have the opportunity to name the rooms whatever you want to name them. You can use just the basic petitioner / plaintiff, or you can put the parties' names in there. A personal preference of mine is to use the party's name so it doesn't seem so informal in the actual participation in mediation. The other thing you have to do is once you have established your breakout rooms, and on this slide you can actually see the rename feature inside of here that is shown. You then have the opportunity to assign people to their specific rooms. So in this case, you have 2 people that are in the meeting area, and you have the option to assign them to whatever area you want them to be in by pressing the assign button, which will then place the parties in the rooms that you select for them to be assigned to. So when you assign parties to the room, the button, you just do a check mark on it and it will place them into that room. Please note, assigning a room does not automatically place parties into the breakout room. It just tells the system where they will go once all the rooms are open. So you can assign your parties to the different breakout rooms. Do not close the breakout rooms, because if you close the breakout room, your information will not be saved. The information isn't saved until you have opened all rooms. So once you've done your assignment, leave this window open until you have the opportunity to open all rooms. So in the breakout rooms, these are the options that you have before you open all rooms. You have the option to move our participants into breakout rooms automatically. What that means is if you move them automatically when you open all rooms, they do not have an option to join. They're just placed into their room that you assign them to. If that box is not checked, participant will receive a notice saying the host would like to put you in breakout room Mr. Jones, breakout room Miss Jones, breakout room mediator, and they get to say join or later. It is better to do it automatically because sometimes people have other windows open and they can't find the button that tells them to join, and you spend minutes a lot of time trying to explain to them how to find the button. So it's just better to automatically send them into the breakout rooms, and you can always go in later to find out if they have any questions. The second thing is to allow participants to return to the main session at any time. If that is checked, people can leave the breakout room freely. They're not stuck in there. They can leave out anytime they get ready. We leave that unchecked because we only want the host or the mediator to be able to move parties in and out of their breakout rooms. The breakout room closed automatically after is allowing you the opportunity to set a time. So if you have a time frame that you set for your mediations, let's say you only mediate for 2 hours, then you will set that breakout room based on the amount of time that you have left to do the actual mediation. And when that time is ended, you will get a notice that the breakout rooms will be closing, which leads us to the next feature, which says notify me when the time is up. If that box is checked, and it is only checked if you have checked automatically close the rooms, you will then get a notice regardless of what room you in that the breakout rooms are about to close in whatever minute number of seconds you have assigned to the closing of the breakout room. So the countdown after closing breakout room is there. You can set that anywhere between 5 seconds all the way up to 2 minutes to allow people to finish their conversations and to leave the breakout room. This is a figure to show you how the breakout room looks when you are before you open the room and after you have opened the room. So before you open the room, you have the option to recreate your breakout room. You have the options that we just showed you on telling people if they can leave on their own, if the rooms are going to be set with a time, and all those other things. Once you hit open all rooms, you will lose the option and the add room and the recreate features inside of the breakout room. The only way you can go back to this is to close all rooms. Then it will bring you back to this menu to recreate and the other options, add room and open the rooms again. So this is the difference, and I think it's important to reference that you understand that when before you get into the breakout room, you have all these options to do things within the breakout room. Once you have opened all rooms, those options are no longer available to you. The only option you have is to broadcast a message to all or to close the meeting room. So as the host, or let's say the mediator, you can join between the different rooms, which is, I think, the best feature inside of Zoom. So when you go to join a room, you'll see the button that says join, which here you can see the words that actually say join. And so this asks you the question, who you're joining? Joining a plaintiff slash petitioner, or it could put Mr. Jones or Miss Jones, whoever name is in that room, and then you as the host have the option to state where you're joining by saying yes or no. And Zoom wants to make sure you know what room you're joining by putting that up for your reference. Once you're in the breakout room, you'll notice something. When you first enter the breakout room, you will be muted. So it's important to unmute your microphone so parties and persons in the room can hear you. You'll also note in the participants, it only shows you the number of persons in the breakout room, not the number of people associated with the whole meeting. So that is very important to note. And please note, when you're in the breakout room, your screen sharing and your chats are specific to the breakout room. It does not include the entire meeting space, but just those persons that are in the breakout room. The breakout will look different in different devices. So when you see on this particular menu the word breakout room, that's how it usually looks on a PC if you're using full screen view. But if you have shrunk the window of your view screen, you will see a more with the 3 ellipses. If you click on those, it will show you then the breakout room and other features. The last thing I want to talk about inside of here is the lead breakout room. If you select lead breakout room, you will immediately get this pop-up that gives you, do you want to leave this breakout room and return to the main session? If you click leave meeting, you will leave the entire Zoom meeting, not just the breakout room, but the whole meeting. If you are the host and you leave the meeting, it will close all of the breakout rooms and bring everybody back to the main session. So if you are hosting this meeting, you do not want to leave the meeting. What you want to do is return to the main session. The other option you have is to cancel, which means you're going to stay in the breakout room that you are in. The warning message that I put here on this particular slide is do not leave meeting. You do not want to leave the meeting. You want to return to the main session. Once you have clicked return to the main session, you will see the window that states and inform you that you're returning to the main session, and it may take a few moments. Inside of the breakout room, when you're getting ready to move to another room, you have the option to broadcast a message to all participants in the meeting. This broadcast message will show up at the top of their screen, informing them what's going on within the meeting session. I highly recommend using the all broadcast message to all to tell people how things are progressing. In other words, select broadcast a message to all to let them know what is going on, as if to say the host is now with the petitioner, or the host is now with the respondent, or the host is now with the attorney. In this way, people are kept informed of what is going on while they're in their breakout rooms. You have the option to join any room once you select the breakout rooms. And you have the ability to close all rooms. Just note, when you close all rooms, all parties are brought back to the main meeting area. The breakout rooms are private. People cannot hear what is going on in the breakout room unless they are physically in the breakout room. Only the participants in the breakout room are those in that particular breakout room. And you can always note who's in the breakout room by selecting participants. No one can hear anything that is said in the breakout room. Only the persons that are in the breakout room, even you as the host, cannot hear the conversations that are going on in the breakout room, nor are they recorded. And so therefore it's really important to affirm to people who participate in this process is that those breakout rooms are private sessions. And that's why it's important when you're moving from room to room to send the broadcast message that you're coming into their room, because they could be in a private conversation and then you just popping in and they won't realize that you're there, because remember, when you enter the room, you enter the room muted. And unless they're paying attention to their screen, which most time people aren't, they will not know that you're there and they're having a conversation that you probably should not be a part of. So therefore, I think it's important to broadcast where you are and where you're going so people can be prepared when you enter the rooms. Once again, this is my big reminder because I've seen it happen where somebody that was in the middle of a breakout room hosting a meeting left the meeting and did not return to the main screen, and everything shut down and everybody was brought back to the main meeting area. So you want to make sure that you leave the breakout room but return to the main session. Here's a glimpse and a clip to show you what it looks like in progress. So when you select the breakout room that's in progress, you'll see all the parties that are in each of the breakout rooms, the ability to send the message. One of the examples here in this particular PowerPoint is we are closing the rooms and you will be brought back to the main room. And that's a message that is sent out to everybody in their meeting room so that they know that they'll be brought back to the main meeting room as soon as the meeting rooms are closed. So when you select this here close all room, please broadcast a message to all before close all room. Remember to send a message to the people in the room that you are closing the room. This allows them to finish up whatever conversations that they're having, and so they're prepared to come back to the main room. And so the countdown begins as soon as you select the button close all rooms. Because of the settings that have been put in place. Remember, when we set up the room, we put that people could not leave the room on their own. Well, when you close our rooms, there is an option for them to leave now, which allows them to leave. They don't have to wait for the full 1 minute countdown or 30-second countdown that you set in the options, but they can literally just leave and come to the main area on their own. Some people do, some people don't. It is their option, but basically you may have to wait the full countdown for everybody to return to the main room. Zoom sharing screen is our next topic. This is topic 4. Sharing screens is a feature allowing you and others to review materials together. We will use it to review something like the consent to mediate, the mediated agreement if we come to one, and potentially if you wanted to show parties in their private room their financials, you can use it as a way of sharing those types of information. Once again, Zoom has a wonderful video that helps you with sharing screen, and you will find it in the description area below that can help you in this process. So shared screen, what it looks like on a PC desktop is when you select share screen, it will pop up saying screen, and then whatever documents you have open on your screen, there will always be the default whiteboard, and there will be the iPhone, iPad connection that you can do through Zoom. This is the basic feature. There are some advanced feature, which is a camera and some other things. And you also have the ability to share directly files that may not be on your desktop, but are found in external software like Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, and things of that nature that you may want to share. And so this is what it looks like on a PC. If you are using an iOS device, a mobile device, or any type of iOS device, it will require you to allow Zoom access to your camera and microphone for recording. Now, please note, this is not to record your session, but it is considered a recording to share your screen. So everything that's on your screen, if you select the screen button on your iOS device, it is going to ask you if you are sure you want to start this broadcast. And all it does, it allows your iOS device to share your screen that you're going through with other persons that are connected to your quote unquote Zoom meeting. It is not recording your meeting. It is just recording what is being seen in order for people to see it. They also recommend if you're going to be sharing your screen through an iOS device, you want to put your device on a do not disturb, because any flash messages that you get, text messages, email notification, any notification that you get through your device, it's going to pop up on your screen when you are sharing your screen. So they provide you with this option to place it in do not disturb. But in order to share your screen on your iOS device, you will have to allow Zoom to have access to record. And once you have made that access possible, you can start the recording. We have also attached the link to the help feature in Zoom to share more about the use of iOS features inside of the Zoom product. These are the files that you can share through Zoom, and as I stated before, you can share files in your Dropbox, your OneDrive, or your Google Drive, or the box. If you are sharing video or anything with sound, you want to make sure that you select share computer sound, because if you don't share computer sound, when you share the video or the audio file, the other person will not hear it because you did not share your sound with them. You only shared the item with them. So you have to share both the item and the sound that goes with it. So remember to select share computer sound when sharing these types of things. This is a view of a shared document from a iPhone. One of the things we want to make sure you notice is that it is very small when you're sharing, looking at it from a we would call it a portrait view. So you want to encourage people to turn their phone longwise so that it is long and wide so that they can see the document. They do have the ability to expand and enlarge it, but it's best for them to rotate the phone from a portrait view into a landscape view. On an iPad, same thing. You will see this is in a landscape view, so you see the document more wide. In the gray area, it will allow you to expand that document so it is larger for you to view it and to see it. That is everything that we have on sharing of your screen as it relates to this. Remember, the video for shared screen is also found in the link below of this YouTube video. The next thing we want to go into is sharing documents. Now, sharing documents is a new feature in Zoom, so there's not a lot of videos on this, not a lot of information. It's a brand new feature, and I don't think it works on all devices, but if it does work on your device and the persons that are participating in your session, it is a wonderful feature because you don't have to go looking for the document. You can just share with them right there within Zoom. So what are some of the documents we would consider sharing in Zoom as it relates to family mediation? Is the agreement to mediate, a parenting plan or mediated agreement, and the mediator's report. So in the quote unquote share of a document, it is a file. If you go down in your chat feature, you will see a button that says file. When you select that file button, you're giving these 5 options for sharing a file. You can share it through your Dropbox, you can share it through the OneDrive, the Google Drive, or the box. I used my computer, so when you go to your computer, it will take you to the file folder that you're looking for. Once you go inside it, you can pick the document, and magically that document now appears in the group chat, and the other parties will see the document and they'll have a little button that says download. The file will be downloaded to their desktop. So if they don't have their desktop in front of them, they will not see the file. They will have to go into their desktop on their computer and go to the folder where the file was downloaded into in order to open up the document. That's how it works. Uh, I have learned that it's very difficult for people to understand that process. So the best way to handle documents, I think at this time, is to literally just share the file through email. But I wanted people to know that this feature is available through Zoom where you can share documents. And if you have somebody on the other side that is comfortable with opening documents, knowing how to find their documents, you will have a wonderful experience in using the tool. But if not, just email the document to them and wait for them to retrieve it from their email. The mediated agreement is the last part that we wanted to go through. I want to thank you for your time that you spent with us here. The mediated agreement is outside of the Zoom platform technically. The only thing we can do with a mediated agreement inside of Zoom is to view it. In order to get your document signed, you will have to do an external product. So this is a mediated agreement memorandum that we use for family, and it tells you the date, and the mediator can fill out all this stuff. They can do it in front of the parties, or they can go to the main area and complete all this while the parties are still waiting inside of their breakout rooms, or they can do it right there in front of the parties while they sit in the main meeting area. It is up to persons how they want to handle completing a mediation agreement. Once the agreement is completed, we use DocuSign. We would then go into our Adobe Sign, upload the document from the mediator, and then we would send it by email to all of the participants. And we send it by email in the order in which the signing is supposed to occur. So it would go to the petitioner first, then the respondent, and then if they had attorneys, it would go to each of their attorneys, and then it would then return back to the person that sent out the document for signatures. We will do a separate video on how to utilize DocuSign for documents. So this is what the document would look like. It would come to the persons, and this is if the document was coming through a regular PC, the document will appear, and there will be this arrow pointing downward to the place where they are to sign the document. When they get to that place, they are then to sign the document, and then it will say click to sign. So there are 4 options that you have when signing a document through Adobe Sign. The 4 options are seen here at the top. Up here, I need to get a highlighter that you can see. Up here at the top, you will see the 4 ways that they can sign, and it is to type, draw, use an image, or by mobile. So type just that, they get to type their name. The second way is they get to draw their name using their mouse or something on their computer. If they're using a smart device, they would be then drawing using their finger. They get to select an item. Let's say that they have a signature file that they use, a JPEG or a PNG file, and they have it on their device. They can just select that file, upload it, and put it on there. Or they can put in their mobile phone number, which will send them a link to their mobile phone that they click on. They then sign it from there. So there are 4 ways that people can sign their document, their agreement through Adobe Sign. So here you will see if you did the select image, you click on the select image, which is here, which would then open up your file folder, which you would then select your file that you want to use. You will click open. Once you click open, it will be placed onto the Adobe Sign feature. You would then select apply. Once you select apply, you want to make sure that your name is typed in here. And this helps you to go through the process. Once you click apply, that is then sent in to Adobe. With the client feature through mobile, you will put in your mobile phone number here. You will hit send. You will receive a message from Adobe. This remains open on Adobe. If it does not come to you, you can select send again, and this stays pre-populated. Once you receive it, you will note here, which is very important, that there is a huge space right here because the phone was set at a portrait mode. So this is all of the signature box I could see. So the necessity to rotate that phone long way or landscape gives the persons more space to sign their name. Make sure their name is in there, and also select the apply button, which it would help them to go through this process and get their document signed. So once you have the document signed, you hit supply and it will go through and be sent over to Adobe. And everybody that signs the form receives a copy of the form when it's finished. So that is our presentation. It has taken us about 35 minutes to go through it today. I hope it answers some of the questions that you had. If not, feel free to drop us an email at exdir@midlandsmediation.org. Exactdir@midlandsmediation.org. I told you as before, we have provided links to all of this information in the video at the bottom of the description inside of YouTube. So please select any of these if you want to learn more about the different features that are available to you through the Zoom platform. This is a great tool to use. And lastly, I want to say thank you for allowing us the opportunity to share with you a way to use Zoom video as a way to continue to do mediation during this time that we are in right now for us, because this video will be out here for a long time, but it is 2020 and we are in the mid of the COVID-19 virus, and most people are at home and we don't have the luxury of doing mediation in the office anymore due to the physical distance requirement that is on most states in the country. I just want to say thank you for allowing us this opportunity to share with you. We are the Midlands Mediation Center, and we are here helping individuals, businesses, organizations, and communities to resolve conflicts, improve relationships, and strengthen communities. So please follow us, like us, and subscribe to our social media channels. We're at MID Mediation SC, or you can find us at the Midlands Mediation Center on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Eventbrite, and YouTube. Thank you so much for viewing this training session. I hope it is a help to your organization. And please remember to look down in the below the video to find all the links. And please like this video and share it with somebody that may need this information. I hope you have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you again in other training videos. Take care.